What is happening at Nintendo? First, they can't decide about a new console. Second, they decide to remake Mario RPG. Third, they let Mario Wonder be all bananas crazy. Fourth, they release Everybody 1-2 Switch this week. Clearly something's not right in the building, and today's newest trailer proves that I don't know what the heck is going on over at Nintendo. Oh, by the way, we also switch online updates, and they give us a clear path and picture of what's to come. So what's going on, everybody? Good morning, Mario. Good morning, Switch fans. It's Zach from Switch Force. I'm excited for you to be here. I'm excited to be here. Hit that like button if you enjoy this show, and subscribe. I haven't said that for what feels like a year. I don't know. It might be cool. We could have a bigger team. We could have a bigger party. We could have more of you to somehow reach my 100 players of Everybody 1-2 Switch in the same room. Nintendo, gosh darn it. They dropped the trailer revealing all the minigames. Now, I'm a big proponent of the Big N. I think they have some of the best gameplay designers on the planet to ever exist. The development time of this game must have been like, I don't know, a pea pod and a little spare pecan. That's how much effort they put into this. We have bingo, my friends. Bingo. Nintendo bingo. And Everybody 1-2 Switch. We have squat. You know, where the instructor says squat and you squat. These are the kind of games that are in Everybody 1-2 Switch. How about shoot the color? I thought that was like, I don't know, Nintendo getting violent. No, it's find something green in the room. Shucks, your living room is all neutral colors. You can't play. These are the kind of games in Everybody 1-2 Switch. Whereas 1-2 Switch, I felt was an examination. This was a thesis on everything the Switch could be. The HD rumble, the motion, the pointer, the pass and play. Like 1-2 Switch, for as dumb as it is, it's about the system. It's about showcasing what Nintendo's new idea is all about. Everybody 1-2 Switch is about, we had no ideas, but we had to come out with something. I honestly, genuinely, truly cannot believe this game is releasing. I thought the first MC Horus trailer was pretty poor. Like, those influencers, if they're even influencers, are definitely not having that much fun. But now with this full trailer where we have, like, count the ice cream, count the ice cream, hip thrust, no one is doing hip. Again, I maintain that this game is for little children, like 5 years old, or very drunk, late night Nintendo sessions, of which I don't really advocate for any of that. There's some things here that I think could possibly be interesting, right? Potentially, but like relay race, passing the baton and running in place. To me, there's way less thought in this than there was in 1-2 Switch. There was like a Saturday Night Live level quirkiness to 1-2 Switch, like milk the cow. Come on, milk it. Listen to the ice cubes. This is like hide the Joy-Con in your room. Oh boy. Bingo. I want you to know that Bingo is featured twice in this trailer. Twice. I know you're not going to spend 2 minutes and 50 seconds of your life that you'll never get back watching this. So let me just confirm to you that they're so hype about the bingo inclusion in Everybody 1-2 Switch, they put it in twice. Development time, honestly, raisins on this. I really think that my miniature poodle mix dog could make a better video game. I don't know if I can even buy it now. I was so gung-ho to check it out, but it looks so bad. It looks horrible. What doesn't look horrible, though, is the future of Nintendo pricing for their new console. This is interesting to me because I don't really know what he's talking about. But Furukawa said that they are determined to ex-nay the scalper's next console. We're getting more and more of the translation from the investors' Q&A, and one of the things was about how to avoid high prices, big eBay prices, huge Mercari sales, all that kind of stuff on the next console. It's something that PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X most recently faced, and it's something that at times Nintendo Switch has even faced. Furukawa says they will do everything to combat scalping, including having more stock and look into other measures. What kind of crackdown is he talking about here? Are they going to set up some strange ban on like reselling Nintendo Switch 2 on eBay? I don't know what he's talking about. How else can you control the flow of scalpers? You really can't. Like, if they're not using eBay, they'll use Mercari, they'll use OfferUp, they'll use Craigslist, they'll, I don't know, go on the street corner. They'll pull up with the big Mario Plumber van and be like, hey. This is starting to get a little too real. I don't know what he means, but I'm interested to see how they plan on fighting the scalpers. Is there a weird world where Nintendo utilizes a warp pipe pass or some sort of ticketing service to get your next Switch, that can't be the case, right? Although they did just debut a new ticket system for Nintendo Switch Live, the Seattle event that's coming up later this year, and they've used Warp Pipe passes for all sorts of events to play demos and things of that sort. How is Furukawa going to come up with a way to defeat scalpers? I'm curious to find out. I'm also curious to find out the cadence of Nintendo Switch Online. Okay, we just got some nice nifty stuff. They brought over Fire Emblem for us in America and the West. In Japan, they got 2 Game Boy Advance games, double the fun. We've been getting a regular drop of SNES and Game Boy, and now it's time for the Genesis games to appear for June. We got a nice list of 4 Genesis games. 2 of them are Zelda wannabes. At least that's what it looks like to me. Crusader of Senti and Landstalker look like, what if we stretched Link and made him taller? Play some Zelda. Ghosts and Ghouls, Ghouls and Ghosts. Y'all know what that is. If you don't, it's about a knight throwing his javelin at the ghost. And then we also have the Revenge of Shinobi, which looks like just any other ordinary side-scrolling beat-em-up with ninjas, but definitely not with turtles. 4 new Genesis games available now. And while I personally don't find the Genesis lineup all that exciting, I was definitely an SNES kid, I do like that Nintendo is keeping this quite rapid. I've critiqued them for not bringing Game Boy Advance. Right, they really find a way to go back to the drawing board, to their original slew, bringing in an assortment of SNES, NES, Game Boy Color, Genesis, an N64 game here or there, but they haven't kept quite consistent with the big stuff, right? We're still waiting on games that were announced last fall for N64 to finally debut. Nintendo finds a way to fill in the gaps, but not give us everything all at once. But this does allow us to sort of see into the future and know what's next. We now have a very good picture of what's coming next for Nintendo Switch Online, and I thought that'd be a fun thing to focus on so you know what's coming in the coming months. I feel like it's been a bit random, and there still is the opportunity for Nintendo to go off plan, off cadence, but we do know what, in theory, should be the next slate of games for N64, Game Boy Color, and GBA. Let me list them off for you, and I'll tell you the ones I'm excited about. You tell me the ones you're excited about. For N64, we've known this lineup since September of last year. It's Excite Bike 64, 1080 Snowboarding, and Mario Party 3. Not the most alluring of lineups, although I know there's definitely dedicated fans to each and every one of these titles. Mario Party 3 is probably, well, I like Mario Party 2. Mario Party 2 is the costume one. That's kind of my favorite. Mario Party 3 was pretty good as well, but these are the 3 games that have been lurking since September. We have not got monthly N64 releases, so there is a chance that these 3 games are spread across the last 6 months of the year. There's a chance that Excite Bike 64, 1080 Snowboarding, and Mario Party 3 are your N64 games for the rest of 2023. And I understand it for that platform. They don't have many games to go through, they don't have a huge library, so slowing down while sucky sadly makes sense. On the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance front, it's fruit. It's fruitful trees. They could drop those berries like bananas, but they choose not to. At least we do know what is coming down the pipeline for Game Boy Color. It's the Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons games, and the Pokemon trading card game. These are the 3 that they showcased in the February Direct 4 months ago when they announced Game Boy Color coming to Nintendo Switch. We do have a few of the games that they promised, and we had a nice early assortment. Kirby Tilt and Tumble is the most recent to be added. We're still waiting on those Zelda titles. I feel like the Zelda titles are a nice holdover for the fall once we're done with Tears of the Kingdom. Definitely not getting Wind Waker or Twilight Princess this year on Switch, so having 2 other classic Zeldas that a lot of people haven't played, myself included, will be fun to have. I know everyone was kind of hoping for a remake, but I do think these will be great to see on our Switch. On the Game Boy Advance side of things, we know that they are bringing us a lot of glory. All right, it's F-Zero, Maximum Velocity, it's Golden Sun, and Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Those are 3 that were shown off in the February Direct that have yet to grace our screens. Now, they added the Mario Advance titles, which we kind of knew would be inevitable. They kind of slotted those in there in between Metroid Fusion and Fire Emblem. So now we're just waiting on another Kirby game, but there's so much Kirby on Switch, I don't feel like that's a pressing matter. I do think F-Zero is nice. Maybe they'll tie in F-Zero on Game Boy Advance with F-Zero GX dropping if they do like sort of the GameCube thing that they did with Pikmin 1 and 2. There's a lot of rumors around F-Zero. It seems like those could be coordinated to be a double dose of F-Zero goodness. Really kind of hype that franchise up. Maybe try to regenerate some enthusiasm and hope for a future sequel. But the one I'm most excited for is Golden Sun. I think it's one of the best RPGs Nintendo had on one of their platforms since like Mario RPG. And we're getting Mario RPG back, so that could be another decent pair. Golden Sun with the Jin. I love those little creatures. I love Isaac Clarke. I think the characters are quite great. We had hopes that they would arrive in Smash Bros. Didn't quite work out as such, but now they have a chance to return. And if Advance Wars can make the transition from Game Boy Advance to Switch, a Golden Sun NSO title may in fact one day lead to a Golden Sun Rebirth on Nintendo Switch. And for all the love we get for games like Bravely Default and Octopath Traveler, I think there's plenty of audience for a 2D HD Golden Sun new title, new entry, not a remake, not a remaster, new one on Switch. I think they could plenty justify the budget in terms of sales. I mean, again, we have other JRPGs that are not huge sellers, but still find a great niche audience on Nintendo Switch. And Golden Sun is a lovable cast of characters, a really nice color palette, and awesome magic attacks. Cannot wait for that one to hit Game Boy Advance. Again, based on the cadence that they've been going, these are probably your titles for the rest of 2023. If they did a GBA game a month, okay, then maybe we can get more. And like I said, they do throw some extra stuff in there. Like they threw in the 3 Mario Advance games, even though that kind of felt redundant with all those titles already represented in earlier console form, but alas, they could throw in extras. Otherwise, I think you're looking at like July being Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, September being F-Zero, and November being Golden Sun, and then get ready for 2024. I don't know, with multiple systems, we now have this staggered schedule, and in one way it's fun because there's diversity and a plethora of platforms, but in another way, if you don't love the platform that they're focusing on for that month, it feels a bit dull. Would you guys prefer Nintendo just went ham? I mean, the answer is just yes, right? Is there anybody that likes sort of this alternating structure, or is there a system you would rather them focus on? Like, if you could pick, I guess, because the world where Nintendo just gives us all the titles, that's lovely in theory, but impossible in reality. Where should they focus? Should they focus on the newest entries, the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance? Should they continue to boost the N64? I think part of it is that they want to appeal to both the expansion pack owners and the non-expansion pack users. And from that standpoint, they need to add like some Game Boy, some Game Boy Advance, some SNES, some N64, some NES, some Genesis. You know, they got to kind of mix it up. So let me know what you think about Switch Online, the plan, and the roadmap ahead, because those are basically the games that we're getting for the rest of 2023. If everything continues on the course, maybe a surprise or two thrown in there, but I bet that's what we have when the year comes to a close. This video is now coming to a close, so thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love y'all lots. Until next time, everybody 1-2 Switch looks awful. Switch Force, out.